Recording in progress.
Jump inside the sub
and buckle on in.
Open your mind,
because it's time to dive into
3, 2, 1.
the deep end.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The deep end.
The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
Deep, man.
Too deep, brah.
Welcome to episode 21, everyone.
Hey. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I guess we're legal now to go hit the casino.
Our podcast can drink. Woo! Let's do a white girl woo. Ready? No, just kidding. 21 episodes. That's great. Well, fuck. Never mind then. Sorry, I completely interrupted you for the stupidest thing. So, what were you saying?
I think this Oracle deck. That when I got it in the mail, I had saved that photo that's on the front of this deck, on my phone, a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
And then I got it, and I was like, "Whoa, I've seen this photo. I think I saved it on my phone."
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize it. I just didn't remember it having that cover when I ordered it, but.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. I like that deck though. That card last week was fucking cool.
Oh, the Lumeria deck.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one you said you're using, or did
I pulled out I got a new one. It's called the Ocean of Wisdom Oracle cards, and they're really big. They're almost as big as the whole palm of my hand and my fingers. I could barely reach my fingers around them.
I have a huge tarot deck like that, and I love it. It's this black cat tarot, and it's black and gold, and it's just so cute, and it's so hard to shuffle.
Yeah.
My fucking
I'm
hands
just
barely
basically
reach
having
around
to do it the way they teach us in the casino, where you only lift up the very corner of one of each.
Oh, yeah.
And because so that's the way I've been doing it, but it's just really gorgeous. All the photos on it are just really beautiful art.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the actual deck has a scenic that's above ocean and below ocean, or above water, below water kind of a thing. And it's just really pretty.
Dude, I took out my animal spirit deck, and the octopus is the one on the bottom. That's funny. But her fucking description, I looked that up last time we were doing our podcast, our recording. And her fucking description for octopus is they're sneaky and snaky and all this shit. I was like, fuck you. I was like, no, they're not. I was like, they're very,
on the card?
Yeah, the octopus, her description, listen to it. It says, the octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. Or they believe that's what it means to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of the octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries and be patient and firm, and it may be a very old habit to change. I'm like, that's kind of fucking I don't know. I don't like that. I think octopi, they're a little more spiritual than that. I don't think they're.
Yeah, because my experience, we are very solitary.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely not intertwining in other people's shit.
I know. I don't know where I know. She's like, oh, I see tentacles and they stick to stuff. So that means they're just all up in people's business. Yeah, that's what that means.
Have you ever even met or talked to an octopus?
Do you even know, bro? Do you even ink? I don't know. After that documentary I saw about that octopus, I'm like, I don't know. I don't agree with her description.
Right.
And plus your life too. I was seeing stuff. I don't know if it was just my imagination or if I was seeing what you were seeing, but I'm like, I don't get they're very solitary creatures, and they're very smart and sophisticated.
Yeah, that's how it's felt to me too. So maybe she was a fish that got ate by an octopus, and she never got to be an octopus.
I need to quit eating. I don't realize that I do it until I go back and edit. And I'm like, oh God. Like I'm so fucking high and the munchies are just like second nature. It's like breathing. Well, I wouldn't say munchies. It's more like my popcorn or my fruit.
Hmm.
Well, those could be munchies, they're healthy munchies. But I do have some Reese's peanut butter pumpkins in my fucking freezer right now. After we talked about that, I started my period and I was like, I want some chocolate and some peanut butter.
Well, I don't have any of those because every time I've tried, it's like it just doesn't taste good. But I do, however, have a fresh half-gallon of Rocky Road ice cream and which I like. I haven't ate ice cream in a long time, but
Well,
we got some the other day.
I also love those peanut butter M&Ms, and I've bought those
Oh,
a
me
couple
too.
times. Yeah, I've bought those a couple
Yeah.
times and eat those. I've eaten those a lot. I always liked, I don't know, I eat candy really weird. Like I like to break the shell of the M&M and then eat the shell and then eat the peanut butter. And then, like I still do, and I used to as well bite the heads off of gummy bears, like stick them on my face. I would just keep doing it until they fell off. And then once they fell off, I would eat them.
Like when you were a kid or like last year?
Like last night.
Yeah.
No, but I really do. I've done it since I was a kid. And I caught myself doing it one time. Like I don't do it as much, but I just caught myself doing it. I was like, why? Why are you this weird?
You were talking about doing the intentions. You said for the new moon, it's a good time to set your intentions. Is it the intentions for the month, or can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, yeah. Yes, I can. There's this astrologer that I watch sometimes while I cook dinner. Her name's Candace. Her page is Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology if you ever want to check her out. She's on YouTube and Instagram, and I think she's on Facebook. I don't know. Anyway, she does astro weather reports, and they're really cool. And she does them according to your rising sign. And so you know what area of your life all this shit's gonna play out that's going on, which is why I love watching it. But anyway, she was talking about the solar eclipse and she was talking about the energy of the new moon and saying how on the day of the solar eclipse is probably not the best day for intentions. And she said that's kind of like a day to like sit and meditate and in stillness and all that stuff. And then she said on the third would be the best day because Jupiter is making a trine to something. I can't remember what she said. I'll have to look it up. She said that when you come back and write your intentions for the new moon, which is not, I mean, yeah, you could write some for the month, but when I did that, I was just like thinking way too small. You kind of want to set them for like the next 6 months because that's basically how the energy slowly evolves because you're setting it in the new moon and then in 6 months the moon will be full in that same sign. Each new moon cycle is a new area in your life, and so it's really cool to kind of take advantage of that energy. So I set intentions, and she says everything you write will turn to magic, or everything you write is magic, and because of the energy with Jupiter. And so I wrote in present tense because she said you write the intentions and then she's like you could fold it up and put it under a candle like on your altar or like put it on a shelf, or she says you could burn them or whatever. And so I folded mine and put it near my vision board, and I'm going to read it in 6 months and see how it went. But I wrote it like I've written intentions before. I don't know, it's like energy that I hope happens. But this time it was interesting. This time the energy was different. It was interesting because for the first time, like doing intentions, I guess and maybe I've just been doing it wrong this whole time. Maybe you're supposed to really do this, but I literally lived in the energy that I wanted, that I was writing about. I was in it in my heart chakra. I was in it in everywhere. And there were some parts that even made me emotional and mainly because I'm such a wuss nowadays. I cry all the time.
I know what you mean. I don't know. Is it like this healing journey or what?
It is.
Like, what the heck,
It
dude?
totally
I've
is because
never been this emotional.
I know. I remember when my mom was on her healing journey and all she did was cry. She kept a roll of toilet paper in her purse because she was just crying the drop of a hat at any moment.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's really fucking crazy. It's like, wow, is this what feelings feel like? But anyway, but yeah, I just wrote it like it was happening, and yeah, I folded it up, put it under a candle. It's so cute. Every time I go to work at the ranch, I keep finding heart rocks everywhere, like heart-shaped rocks everywhere, so that I take them. And so I have some heart rocks on my altar and by my vision board, and I put like some of the heart rocks over it, and yeah, that's cool. You know what I want to do? I have so many. In fact, I have some really big ones that are like outside of my front door, and others like that I've collected. I kind of want to make like a path, like a walkway in my yard and add a cement, or whatever, and put those rocks in the path every so often.
That'd be cute.
Yeah, it'd be super cute. And then shit, at the rate I'm finding them, I could make the whole path out of these heart rocks.
And a driveway. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? On a house. I don't know. I think that's just a really cool byproduct of this healing journey. Like a lot of love, self-love and friends. Like I've just had so many, it's just really been great. Like a lot of the meaningful, I've noticed a lot this year, like a lot of things have been returning to my life and it's just been really cool. Like a lot of my old friends from high school, like we've been reconnecting and
that's cool.
Like people I was in the military with, like people just throughout my life. It's been really cool, like all the things that have been coming back into my life. And it's just, I don't know, it's really cool, like this influx of these hearts. It's just like so much love is coming into my life, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The show I was watching today on Gaia about crystals, the episode I was watching was really, really cool. And it was talking about using specific crystals depending on what planets are dominant in your star sign or your star chart, I mean. So, basing like wearing crystals or using crystals based on your star chart. And there's various stones that coincide with various planets. So if you have a planet that works well with you, then you harness the energy of that stone and that planet by wearing it, using it, whatever, And then if you have planets that give you a hard time, that generally you don't want to interact with those stones quite as much because they would bring up more turmoil for you.
Well, what you could do is find the opposite sign stone and wear that to balance out the energy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, that would be worthwhile.
Yeah, I just thought it was really interesting.
That is really interesting. I like that.
And so that's why I thought I'd remember you saying that we were mercurial or whatever, so that's why I'd sent you that clip about the Mercury. But she goes through and talks about like every single planet. Then she also talks about like the nodes and all kinds of stuff.
It's pretty cool.
I sent you a screenshot of it. It's called Crystals. It was right after I sent you a clip and then I like backed out of it.
Oh, okay.
Crystal Healing, Manifestation, and Alchemy, and it's episode 3.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what that was. Okay, because I saw that. I just couldn't open it at the time. But yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I sent you the video clip of what she was saying about Mercury.
Oh, no, beware. I'm always weary of throat chakra related stones because I already can't shut up. And I gave one away to a friend who has a blocked throat chakra. And I was like, maybe this is why I was supposed to buy this stone because my throat chakra is wide the fuck open.
She was saying that this stone, so they're saying to wear emeralds, clarity of the mind, sharpening your communication skills, enhanced wit and humor, business success, travel success, efficiency, and more rapid processing of information.
For the emerald? Okay, I need to wear
And that's why I was like, rewind. I'm sending that to Stephanie.
What are you trying to say?
It just seemed like
No, I'm playing.
things that would be beneficial for both of us. Yeah, and I never really wear emeralds. It never even occurred to me, but yeah, I just thought that was really interesting.
Looks like I need to make a trip to the rock shop in Rio.
Right. I know. I was thinking the same thing. Well, we're going to go to the Apple Harvest Festival on Saturday. So I might just have to make a little cruise.
There's this stone that I have that's like I can't remember if it was the liver or digestion or something, but like part of the body, that it worked on was like at that area, and it was like connecting to lost loved ones. But I came upon the stone like right around when Chad died, and I started like communicating with him, and I wore it all the fucking time, and I like every day. I still have it. I wonder if it would be beneficial to you and like you're helping your liver out. I gotta like research again because I came across what the fucking name of the stone was, and then that, which is how I was able to, because I just bought it because I was drawn to it. I wanted to wear it all the time, and I didn't know why. And then I finally found out the type of stone that it was, and I read about it. I was like, damn. I was like, that's exactly what I was going through, like mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it, and it worked like a charm. But I don't wear it anymore. I don't really need it, apparently, because I don't wear it anymore. But I found it the other day, and it just popped into my head. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's time for a vibe check.
Vibe check. It's a vibe.
Vibes all day.
I'm digging your vibe, baby.
We're each going to pull some oracle cards to read what is the vibe of the week.
Hell yeah, let's see what the current energetic vortex has for us today.
I am pulling a card from the Ocean of Wisdom oracle cards. And my card it's a picture of a cave that has like Nessie looking creatures in it. And it says, Monster Cave. Choose love over fear in every moment, knowing that love is the highest vibration of all.
Yay.
That's a cute one. I liked that one.
It is cute. It's cute. I drew the elephant. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm changing it up with the animal spirit deck. It's the Wild Unknown, by the way. It's her Wild Unknown series. But I drew the elephant. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles, so if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. Yeah, I think that one was really truly meant to be. I think that's for you.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because you're just feeling kind of, just like frustrated and
Yeah.
and it's just like
I have been, definitely.
Yeah, just trust that it's gonna happen. I like that one. That one's good.
Yeah, I've been, believing that something is gonna change soon. I just hope it does. Been frustrated with lots of different things. So
you can't hope. You can't live in that energy.
I know. Right.
You're like, I know. No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
I know it does. I know it will happen. It's just, yeah.
No, I know. Dude, that's what sucks is it's like, how do I work through these feelings of frustration without manifesting this bullshit?
Right.
Because it's like, I want to learn and I want to grow and I want to get out of this energy, but it's like, I'm, like apparently, I don't know. I don't know how to, like when shit, fucking sucks, you just have like something just throws you off your game, and so it's like, how do you have a bad day without manifesting more?
Right.
I don't know. I haven't cracked the code on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Me neither. And it's all easy, to like share memes and try, but then whenever you feel like you're just getting beat down and not catching a break, and then you kind of start to lose your faith in things. And you try not to because you don't want to manifest, make that the reality. But yeah, it's a fine line there.
Yeah, exactly. What I think it was the last episode or the episode before. No, it was the last episode. I couldn't concentrate on what you were saying because Squish was like trying to fall asleep, and she was crying, and I was like really distracted by her crying. And we were talking about how, oh, what was it? It was, I can't remember what life it was, but we were talking about how like when you plan everything out and like where free will comes into play, because if everything's planned and everything's predetermined, I wanted to comment on it, but I was distracted and I didn't. I've been thinking about that, like how free will really does come into play, like when you have everything planned out. Okay, so because I've been really pondering the last life I went into, that second asylum life. Like there's some shit about that that's like really strange to me.
Do you feel like sharing the story of the life that you're talking about? Like just loosely at all?
I don't know how to talk about it because it's just, I don't know, some of the subject matter is just,
right.
It's just whatever. Okay, so I opened to a life where I basically was in this asylum, in this facility. When I opened in the scene, I was like 8 years old. I think we discovered that I had been there since I was like 5, and I was just a lifer. And it turned out I had something in my brain, like a foreign growth in my brain over something that caused me to go into like a trance-like state where I couldn't not necessarily a seizure, but like I was in a state where I couldn't focus and I couldn't hear anybody. And I would just, I was like a zombie. And it, obviously worried my family. And so and that's another thing is they didn't take me to a regular doctor. Like, but then again, I don't know the time periods if they had x-rays. Like it kind of sucks because they could have found that, but instead they took me to a psychologist and he was kind of a creep and saw an opportunity, because I went into a state and he knew how to like take advantage of an impressionable mind like that and how to implant ideas and basically mind control. And he implanted things in my brain about like commonly used phrases that my mom or dad would use that would put me in induce this state. And he got to the point where he would induce a state where I would be violent towards my younger brother so that I would look like I'm a problem so that he could institutionalize me because this guy's a predator. Like he does this to people. I'm not the only one. And one of the things that he did, I was instructed to be violent towards my brother. We happened to be standing by the stairs and I pushed him and he fell and he died. And so it just fractured the family, my parents, their marriage, our lives. They just kind of put me in this institution and threw away the key. Open to a scene where like the doctor, he's kind of creepy and he would like have me in these trance states and then just kind of, or I don't know how to say that. That's kind of, I don't know. He would take advantage
of you.
Yeah, he would take advantage of me. And then somewhere in my young teenage years, I got pregnant. The trauma of, that lose like that. But he used, I don't know how he had the baby, like took care of this child because he made it look like it wasn't. I don't know how, because I never really asked, but I don't know how to say, I'm fucking high, how he made it look like, he wasn't the father. It was like but somehow he took the baby. I don't know, but he raised this child, him and his wife, they couldn't have kids or something. And so I don't know, that was the impression I got. But he used this child because once the child was born and they took the child from me, it like fractured my brain. He couldn't control me that way anymore. And so he used the child and I used the sex for power and to have access to the child. Because he wanted, I knew the tool he wanted and he, wanted what he wanted. And so I provided that so I could have access to my daughter. And then I was his little puppet and like fucking manipulated other kids there so I could have access to my daughter. Eventually, like when she was like 10 or whatever, I don't know, around that age, he like was getting found out and so split and fucking, you know, took my kid and I never saw her again and it wrecked me and had an early death.
Well, I mean, there's also, if he was reading you romantic novels, then, you're probably bought into the fantasy.
Well, and you know what else I thought? That was my whole fucking world.
Yeah.
Like it was just him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was not, and that's the thing is going through that audio, I don't feel like a victim of sexual abuse. I feel like a victim of mind control.
Right.
About like the shit that happened to my family and my brother and all that shit in that life. Like, but I don't feel like a victim of sexual abuse. I feel like I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, if you were trapped in that facility and that's all you knew, you didn't have anything else to compare it to.
But the thing that's weird to me is like that's like a fantasy of mine. It's just,
well, and that begs the question: are people's like kinks and fantasies actually things they've gone through in past lives?
That's what I want to know because literally mine, I have all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but at
I think
times
I've
I
told
chalk
you
it up. At times I chalk it up to just the fact that I'm so dominant in my waking life that I like being submissive and like the depths of submissivity, if that's a word. Sorry, I completely interrupted you.
Oh no, I mean, I think I've told you before that I even asked you, I think, what was it, where you fall in love with your kidnapper or something?
Oh yeah, Stockholm
There's
syndrome.
something
Yeah.
like that in my history because I knew it as a young kid, like it was weird. But yeah, I would think about that kind of stuff too. Even as like a pretty young kid. Like so it has to be from somewhere,
Yeah.
and just come up with that on my own. Like
Well, that's what I don't know, all these weird kinks like makes me wonder if I'm just like a weirdo, like really weird. But now like going through some of this shit, I'm like it's like some of that shit was horrifying, and some of it wasn't horrifying, and but thinking back on it, like someone completely manipulating my brain and taking my life from me so they could just have free access to do whatever they want.
so I was thinking more along the lines of like he would get you all aroused up with like romantic novels that probably were, suggestive and get you all horny and then give you what you wanted, basically,
Yeah, I
And
know.
so it was like
Yeah.
relieving, scratching that itch and he probably made you believe that he really cared about you and it was probably enjoyable,
Well, I know that's
kind
the
of a
thing.
thing.
It's like going back through it and listening. I don't feel like a victim. I really don't.
Right. Yeah.
Like not in that sense. And it still, it still fucks my head up a little bit
Yeah.
because I don't know.
It makes sense though. Yeah.
But I literally I want to know how deep he programmed my brain because literally a lot of my kinks are centered around some of that shit.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking weird to me. But like this is such an interesting conversation, but I don't know how to find the courage to put this in the podcast. I don't know.
I think if you really dug into things like that as well with other people and people that have like certain fetishes and certain kinks and stuff like that, you'd probably find that it's usually probably like rooted in some sort of soul memory or something.
Yeah, probably because the deeper I'm going into some of this shit, I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of funny to me.
Right. Like people that are into role play, when like what is it that which roles turn them on? Well, I wonder why,
That's the thing is the role of the victim turns me on.
Right.
Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't have to control anything. I don't like being in control.
It just comes to you.
Yeah. Comes to me, on me. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to relate this back to free will because God, this is so funny. This is gonna be an X-rated episode. Oh God.
What if he's like, and every time you do this, it will be an enjoyable experience. Like the scripting from last night.
And like he keeps repeating dick, dicks. Rock hard. Anyway.
Okay. Sexual assault's nothing to joke about, people, but sometimes we have to laugh about things. So
Well, sometimes it is a laughing matter when it turns you on.
right. Well, and it's, raising the question of, the questions of where it comes from and why and what makes us tick in certain ways. And yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny to me because I've been thinking about this life a lot. Like I listened to it and it is kind of interesting to me because the trauma is centered around, she's mind controlled and, accidentally killed her brother and it has to be in this facility now. And then, this baby and all of that drama. And I was just thinking about the stuff that was traumatizing to me and the stuff that wasn't, and then the purpose and the karma and like the confinement and the loss of freedom and all of that, I believe was karmic. And either I was responsible for somebody losing their life that way, or like sometimes I wonder if it's kind of related to that life I killed the queen by accident. I keep thinking about that because I was never found out and I was never punished. And I'm wondering if I punished myself in that life, because that's when I started thinking about karma. And like the karma is I need to be in confinement. And so it's up in the air about what kind of confinement. So I choose somebody to act out this karma with who's going to put me in confinement. But where the free will comes into play is if this guy's a creepy pedophile, which he was. So it's like
Right.
all this sexual trauma is coming up that wasn't part of the plan, but it's still free will. And so we're still in it, acting this out. And then that's where, the sexual karma from that comes into play. That's how you karmically tie yourself to somebody, by going outside of the contract, you know what I mean? To make the karma whatever.
It's an example of, she went into it with the intention of digging deeper into her deepest traumas to dig them up and heal from them and move on. And so it just shows some really deep trauma that lie in people's past that you have no idea that you're still carrying around and affecting you in certain ways.
Well, and the thing was interesting is when we went to the healing space to release all the trauma, when I was in that healing space trying to, and like the smoke was releasing, my little brother in that life came through so fucking strongly, like right through the smoke, and gripped me and was like, hey, you got to let this go and let me go. Like, I forgive you. It's not your fault. I love you. And then, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it was like the most beautiful release. And it was so cute what he said. He was like, doesn't it feel good to let me go? Or something of that effect, and it was just so beautiful. Like, even when I listen back, I still like it. It makes me emotional. Shocking. And what was cool is that fractured picture of that family. I saw that picture was intact again, and I put it on the shelf. Like, I made a special shelf, and put it in my healing space. It was really cool. And like a plant was all of a sudden materialized there, and then like another this or that. And like it just became, this shelf came to life. It was beauty. And my healing space is like, it's kind of funny what it looked like when we first started the first session and like what it looks like now in my mind's eye. It's like really, or in the quantum, I guess you could say, like what it looks like now. There's like little, I don't know, just little things, from each life.
Like little trinkets.
Yeah. Dude, I was cracking up in that first session because when I looked around, I didn't know how to say it, but it was just reminded me of like a serial killer and all of his things that he takes from his victims.
Oh.
I was like, these are all the things I've taken from my lives.
That's funny.
But
Yeah. What do they call those? Trophies.
Yeah, my trophies. But
I do that with my travels. I bring home little trophies from my travels.
I know, I do too. I have to.
I haven't had a chance to listen back to my session from last night that we did. More stuff definitely like came through afterwards. I think the friend may have been my cousin after the fact, but last night on the new moon, we went into some of my trauma and what I'm dealing with lately. And I went into a life. Basically, I came right down into a prison cell and I felt like the shackles on my wrist. They had to be at least 6 inches. They were like not your normal shackles. They were like really long and just like totally weighted down. And I felt like really skinny and frail and cold and come to find out I was in a prison cell underneath the ground. And I was a young man in Egypt and basically had a really sad, lonely, angry life. We were really, really poor and hungry a lot. My mom was sickly, so I had to work and to get us the little bit of food that we did have. And I was a sheep herder or a shepherd, basically, for other people's flock. One of my important days, I fell in the dark somehow and ended up with a traumatic brain injury that I think significantly impacted my life and made me probably quick tempered and a little confused a lot of the time. And I think I got headaches frequently. And being a poor, hungry Egyptian man, the woman that I fell in love with, I couldn't be with her. Her father married her off to someone else because I didn't have property and anything to offer them. And then my mom died, and I just pretty much, I think, lost my mind. I think I just spiraled with anger and uh, brain problems and started spouting off against, speaking out against the gods and the royalty of Egypt, and landed myself in a prison, and then I was stoned to death in what I believe is the Karnak complex in Luxor. So pretty interesting that the regression actually used flashed images from my trip to Egypt to show and explain certain aspects and certain places. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. The one little friend that I did have, I was trying to figure it out in the session and I wasn't sure. And then later on in the shower, it came to me that I think it was my cousin, Ashley. So pretty interesting.
That is cool. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to listening back to it and editing the audio because usually when I edit the audio, I get massive like downloads more about it.
Me too.
But today I was supposed to have a session this morning, and due to a last minute situation, we started the session and she had a family emergency that she had to drop everything and go to, and took advantage and did some chores and then had to go to work, and been so busy all day I haven't had a chance to sit down and listen to any of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually want to sit down and while I'm working on the audio, have like the journal page open to write down things that are coming to me so I don't forget any of it.
Yeah. I know. I still got to write my page about the detective life, and I actually have a lot of lives to write down in that fucking thing. But
I know, that's what I was thinking. I should go back and like start from the beginning, but it's going to be a long project if I do that.
I know. I like working like I do. I literally just listen to stuff, and one of the days I was like, I'm gonna just go back and listen to everything from the start. And it was really funny listening to some of that stuff. You know what I was thinking about today? You were was it a question you asked during your first session? Or I can't remember, but you something about Egypt, and I saw into a life where you like were looking at the pyramids and your mom was telling you about the pyramids or some shit. And then you were like asking if it was like ancient Egypt. I'm like, no, I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's a little more modern, but it's like still like deeply in the past, you know? And when I asked you what time period, you're like, I see 1403, and then that's, I don't know. I was like, dude, I wonder if that's the life that I saw into. But I don't know. I think I felt you as a woman, so I probably got that part wrong. But
I'm pretty sure
the
I've
thing
had
that,
several.
well, the thing that stuck out to me is it was just you and your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Like the energy, it was just you and your mom. And so that's what stuck out to me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I like all of these like tapestries and stuff, but looking at them from the perspective of the poor man, I was like, why would I like this kind of stuff then if I like hated the establishment, hated like their belief in the god systems, and stuff like that. And then I was like, no, I feel like my connection to these types of images and things is like from further back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really curious as to if I would have had any incarnations like in the earlier times.
I know.
Of,
I want to know that too. I want to go to like ancient lives. Like I want to know what it was like what life was like, you know, how they lived, what they, you know, like those questions where you ask like what your house looks like and what you eat and stuff. Like I don't know. I just think about it. Dude, okay, I saw another funny in all of our charts. Okay, so follow me if you will. Like, I hope I can explain this. Your north and south node can be in a sign and then they can be in a house, right? And so my sign that it's in, because you know how, okay, let me back up. Every house is ruled by a sign, right?
okay.
The second house and the eighth house axis is ruled by Taurus and Scorpio. So I have my north and south node in Taurus and Scorpio. However, they're in a different house. But you have your nodes in blah, 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 and blah, 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 but they're in the second and eighth house. So it's the same fucking energy. It's like deep psychological fears from your past and working through your this and that and finding and working towards something more peaceful and stable. And so your avenue happens to be in the financial sphere and mine is in the spiritual health and spirituality sphere. And so it's the same idea. It's not the same nodal point, but you and I were born at different, I was born like a couple years after you. So it's like we can't have the same nodes. So, but with having them in the house and the signs like that, it's still the same energy without being in the same sign.
Huh.
And like you and I were unlocking our fears to become more stable. Not only do we have that mutable cardinal and then cardinal mutable, and then I noticed it with the fucking nodes today. I was like, so for someone to have the same thing with me, they'd have to have it in the eighth and second house. And I was like, oh my God, Stephanie does. I was like, holy shit. Like it's funny, just the crazy astro synchronicities. Like when I don't know, I don't know if you understood any of what I told you. I really hope you did because
It's kind of like I feel like I'm like on a surfboard riding it, but not quite swimming in it.
okay, well that's cool. But I just think it's really cool because it's like it's like having the same destiny without having the same placements that illustrate the destiny. It's like using a different way to get to the same location. And so, yeah, that's basically the best way I could say it is we're traveling on different routes, but we're arriving at the same location with how our nodes are. And like
I just have such a hard time with the nodes. Like I always want to be like nodes, man.
Nodes, man.
Don't be checking out my man's nodes. Those nodes are my nodes. Those nodes are just for me, man.
Point your nodes that way.
I got my own nodes, man. I don't need to deal with your nodes. Pick your nodes over there.
You shut your nodes when you're talking to me.
even like that video of that chick that you sent me, she's talking about nodes, and I'm just like, yeah, man, the nodes, man. Like, I just can't get it out of my head.
That's so funny. I know. Yeah, there's ones for me. I got sick of saying Uranus, so
I noticed you say Uranus.
No, I can say Uranus, like how Candace
that's
says
right.
it. Yeah, Candace says it Uranus, and when she said it, I was like, and then but then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's what the planet's called, and so I say that, and nobody ever. I mean, obviously the immature, like, but yeah, you can't say Uranus, and so I say Uranus. And I always thought Chiron was pronounced Chiron. My friend called it Chiron, the first person that told me about astrology. And so I kept calling it Chiron.
Like Shira.
I was just gonna say that. It sounds like He-Man and Shira.
I love Shira.
Oh my God. I know.
I took my Shira doll to show and tell in 2nd grade, and some jackass stole it.
Oh yeah,
I was devastated.
I had a Shira action figure and I lost it too. And then I lost it. Fuck, forgot what I was gonna say.
Shira.
No, I had nothing
and the nodes. Shira and the nodes.
Shira's nodes, man.
It sounds like a terrible cover band.
And they drive a van.
Chiron and the nodes.
And her trip to Node Castle. The Castle of the Nodes. Now what are we going to talk about?
I'm drawing these things and I can't tell if they're bats or birds, but...
Oh, you know what's funny? I put this as a topic to talk about that I noticed. I have this nervous tick when I get anxietied out where I will like tap my collarbones or like touch my collarbones or like my sternum or my chest, and fucking I would always do that with an anxiety attack and then going through that fucking schizo life when she would do the sensory shit and like touch her body and stuff. I'm like, oh, I've done that.
I don't know. I think maybe I was strangled. I have something weird about my neck and touching my neck and other people touching my neck. And I don't think it's just from being hung in Salem. I think there are some other crazy weird shit.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how I feel about that. It's like sometimes, but it's never been like a huge turn on for me to have someone like choke me like that. Because I always worry like, what if they don't let go?
Right. I think I've done it like a couple times. Usually when I'm really fucking trashed. There's definitely something weird going on there. The more I go down the healing path, the more sensitive I am to it. If like my body is remembering it deeper, and I'm having more physical reactions in my daily life to like stimulus that, especially that when I'm not expecting it and it catches me off guard. And so, yeah, it's been kind of weird. Yeah. Like sometimes Travis will even like just like spank me or grab me when I walk by, and I like fucking jump like so bad. And he like gets offended, and it's like, trust me, I don't do it on purpose. Like
I am noticing the universal energy shifting. I have an opportunity to work and still not have my kids in daycare, and put food on the table for them,
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes with abundance, it may not look the way you want it to look, but it's still fucking pretty, it's still like happening. And
well, Bashar, I was having issues with that like last week, and I came across a video from Bashar that said, abundance isn't having what you want when you want it. Abundance is having the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it.
And having what you need when you need it. Not when,
right.
Because he was like talking about having your wants align with your needs.
Right.
And yeah, I literally just listened to that like 2 days ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of was the shift in perspective I needed for that particular day. to kind of do what I needed to do to get through that day. But and it kind of stuck with me.
Oh, I know. It's funny, when I first started this journey with you doing all these regressions and like discovering Bashar, half the shit he said flew over my head. And now I listen to him and I could follow it. Like, I'm like, wow, this is cool. Am I growing? Am I learning? It's nice. Like, I don't know. Maybe I fucking removed some of my deep blocks. And so now I can actually process information. Or I'm just understanding these concepts, on a deeper level. I don't know. But it's just like a lot of it too is just kind of like readjusting and not having expectations of what you think it should look like. Like just accepting it for what it is. And I don't know, because I do look around and it could be so much worse. Like it really could. And it's nice to like have that perspective and then rattle off your gratitude list so that you could keep it.
Yeah, that's what I've really been trying to focus on.
I even wrote on my mirror in my bathroom, do your affirmations, because I'm trying to recircuit my brain, like what Billy Carson was saying. Oh, by the way, I've been watching him a lot, or like trying to find stuff for him. Like I'm like obsessed. I love listening to him talk.
Me too.
And he was on Joe Rogan's podcast and it was cool, most of it. But at the end, Joe Rogan was talking, I don't know, he just got so stuck in the concept of like, Billy Carson was even talking about like, living a life of positivity and passion and, doing what, drives you. And because like I forget how he was saying some of this stuff, but Joe Rogan like couldn't get it out of his head of like, well, how would people sustain themselves? Like, because he kept talking about a base pay that the government could give out and like still abiding by this government and like this pay structure and like we have to earn this money and how much money and like how much would we have to have a year to be able to do this and this. And he was just stuck in this system mindset. And it was funny because what Billy was talking about, he just stopped talking after a minute. He was just like, yeah, and I finally turned it off because it was driving me nuts. But I was like, get out of that fucking mindset. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, you need to elevate there's a society beyond that kind of a structure that exists.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you have that mindset, you're just keeping yourself in the machine.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you think the government's going to let everybody follow their passion?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like
they can't make money off that.
Exactly. And so he's like, I don't know, just the way he was trying to like get this idea of following your passion to work with a government and structure and a base pay and la la la. And it's like, let's just break out of that because it's a failing structure. Just fucking let it go. Let it fall away. Let it go. Let's discover this new society structure that works. Let's learn about it. Let's let the ETs tell us about it. I don't know. It was cool. I was listening to this one podcast and Daryl was talking about like open contact and just all this stuff, that you can learn. And I'm like, that's what drives me is just that. I just tell me that there's stuff to learn and I'm on board.
Right. Really curious how I would be going and going to the Pleiades, like in a session, especially because I don't really get the visuals,
They'll come. It's just literally just opened your third eye.
Yeah, I was in meditation last night. I was putting energy there around my crown and my third eye and like trying to remove anything so that the visuals could come through clearer and stuff. I could not sleep last night, which is really weird. I tried to go to bed after and laid there just fucking starving. And I was like, what? And then Travis's alarm went off after I laid there and tried to go to sleep for about an hour and couldn't. And then I was like, I should just get up and eat because maybe then I'll actually fall asleep. And I always tell the clients that if they're hungry after a session to allow themselves to eat.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
I was just going to tell you had a deep sesh. You need to eat.
And well, it's because I knew I didn't have anything that was really healthy that I should be eating. Of course, I ate cereal because that was easy and grabbable. it's one of the things of not having snack foods around the house, and everything is like, cooked from scratch, or like, raw vegetables and raw foods, and I don't have anything to snack on. I don't have anything that I can eat quickly. Everything is a full blown have to cook it,
Mm-hmm.
And I need to go shopping and get like fruit and stuff, but I'm just out of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I hate when I'm out of that. It's like that's like my dilemma is like I really love food. I love eating. I love snacking, all that shit. But at the same time, like it's just so tedious to prepare it.
Right.
And so sometimes I just prefer to drink my nutrients. Like I really love all
Yeah.
these greens drinks and my protein drink and my mushroom drink. I have all kinds of stuff from this because I switched my nutrition company and I have like a gut healing one. I have that mushroom recovery one. I have their fiber. I have their BCA, like the aminos, like all these different drinks.
Mm.
And
No,
it's
and I
just,
went through a phase where I was totally like, I prefer to drink my nutrients and stuff as well. But the last time I was actually successful with it, it came from a place of toxicity. It came from a place of basically like feeling like I was unworthy of love unless I was capable of doing this.
oh
And
yeah.
and it was almost from like the same driving mentality that I used to struggle with anorexia and bulimia. So it did not come from a good place. Now,
Hmm.
I learned a lot through it, and I learned how healthy and great I could feel. It had positive benefits, but what really drove me to be successful with doing like the juice fast thing that I did was not from a good place. And I was like really examining that last night because I've tried to do it several times since because it feels so good.
Hmm.
But I always have that rage that kicks in after a day or two. But my life, like at the time I was single and was like wanting a man. Now this rage kicks in. It's like, why don't you fucking cook me dinner? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just has like made it almost impossible to do what I really wanted to do to follow through with it. And so having that light bulb last night in the session of the rage that I feel connected with hunger pains actually being from that life, and that was the kind of rage that I lived with in that life regularly and stuff,
Hmm.
was so I'm hoping that maybe I'm going to try again and see if it still induces that kind of reaction out of me, or.
And then only way to fucking find out, or only way to tell,
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out. No, but I don't know. After I really got to stop talking with this fucking food in my mouth. Like, I don't know, after some of my healing ceremonies, like from the detective, like that last one with with all three of them, I don't know. It really does feel different, each time you channel and like you release shit and keep going deeper. And I think it will be very, God damn it, I lost my train of thought. Because
Well, yeah,
I was
I
gonna make a
agree.
pun. I was gonna make a pun. I was gonna say it's gonna
Oh.
be very fruitful for you. But
No, I woke up today like feeling like super light and and I don't know if it's the energy of the new moon passing and like, all the stuff that's been happening, or if it was the past life regression, because like I said, I didn't sleep for shit. I was like weirdly energized all night long and pretty much was in like a state of lucid dreaming all night long. The
that's
the little
cool.
bit that I was, and I remember before going to bed asking for more understanding about the past life session, and then but I don't even really remember what I dreamt about, which is the weird part. But I just remember trying to sleep and not sleeping. But then I woke up and was like weirdly lighter and like motivated, and like cleaned my kitchen and did my laundry and folded all like 7 loads of laundry.
Nice.
It'll be interesting to see, but I definitely am enjoying the changes. It's I've always felt like I was fighting against this like invisible, really, really harsh current just in life in general, especially when it came to eating and my health. And I've tried every approach that I could possibly think of and just, so it's kind of nice that the more sessions I do, the more I uncover and understand. It's like things are like effortless now. Like I don't even think about it. I don't even have to try. I just don't want that shit. I just don't have the desire for it. And that's the amazing part.
Yeah.
It's like the hard work is the healing. And the rest of it is almost effortless because it just is following suit. Whenever I spent all this time fighting from the other end, from the other perspective, fighting the behavior, not understanding the underlying causes of it. So just really fucking amazing.
I know.
And then trying to explain it to other people that you see struggling with the same things and that are just spinning their wheels. And a lot of people really aren't receptive to it. And it's just like, it's just so amazing. You just experience something so cool and they just aren't open, to even hearing or understanding about it. Man,
I know.
so you just have to let them choose their suffering until they're ready. But yeah.
I know, it's too bad. Because it just blows my mind because I've tried to do shadow work in the past and like try to do this and that for healing and la la la. And even like being in the spiritual community, I never understood the healing, like what I'm just supposed to eat mushrooms and go meditate under a full moon and I'm, healed or whatever. Like I never understood what all of that entailed. I don't know. It was just
Did
weird.
I send you the Bashar video about DMT?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
sorry, just making sure. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
I didn't want to forget.
Yeah, well, and I've heard him talk about that kind of stuff. He's like, it's just a tool,
Oh, I loved how he was talking about actually like what levels.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, like I just thought it was very specific, very cool. I hadn't heard him be that specific about it,
Oh, I know. Oh, excuse me. I'm like almost burped. But like, I don't know. I just really wanted to embark on this healing journey because there was things that I was just tired of. Like I was just tired of myself and I just was tired of being this version of myself. I didn't realize past life regressions involved this much healing. I thought it was just story time. And I wanted one so bad because I tell other people, I used to give people their readings as a party trick, and but like that, looking back, like there was a lot of shit that they resonated really hard with, but we never went into like the lessons or the this or that. It was just like random information.
Right.
And so I always wanted to know mine. And I just wanted, like, because I can never tap into mine, finding out all this healing that really comes with it. And honestly, this is the easiest and fastest path that I've ever seen for healing. Like, we literally started in March, and I've literally unpacked so much shit. I was thinking the other day about like there's certain situations I find myself in reacting in ways that even just a month ago or 2 months ago, I would have had a completely different reaction to. But after uncovering the source of some of my problems with my anger and with my fears and like my communication problems and like, just all of it. It's just makes so much shit make sense. And then to sit in those healing ceremonies and like discuss this shit and like be told stuff or just feel source healing energy falling on you kind of thing. Like it's been the most amazing experience. And it's like literally the easiest and fastest way to like, it's just, I don't know why it's so scary to people. It's like so fucking cool. And yeah, some of it's dark, but you're asking for it. Like if you don't want that, you don't have to. But if you want to stay stuck, then stay stuck. That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
It's just
learning about the stuff, definitely. I mean, it can be heartbreaking and bring up emotions for sure, but it somehow is also comforting in a way to understand
where
where
something
certain
comes
things came
from.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, trust me. Yeah, there's so much shit that's heartbreaking. My murder life, like, if I go linger in that again, that energy, I was a fucking mess during the first eclipse a couple weeks ago. I could not stop crying about that fucking life. And I don't know, just open that fucking door wide open. And then that 1800s life is super sad, makes me cry when I listen to it sometimes. But like, I don't know, it's I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. I
It's
don't
a
know,
lot
like
less painful though than carrying it around your whole life and dealing with the trauma from it and not even understanding why.
exactly like fucking when my last regression hearing about I accidentally killed my brother in that life and just carrying that around and not even realizing it. It was interesting just like releasing that because it's like a lot of the stuff you don't even realize you're carrying that's making you angry or making you sad or making you sick, making you, anxious or whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy until you unravel it and yeah, and literally just shining light on it, is literally all you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to sit with it in meditation, but a lot of the times just shining light on it, it's what's healing.
Yeah, I mean, Dolores repeats over and over in her books that just by bringing forward the reason, like if it's a specific physical ailment that is rooted in a past life reason, that just shining light on it is enough to make them not have that physical ailment anymore. And I've heard her say it in like a couple different books. I don't know personally that I've seen that like instantaneous, but I definitely have seen like massive improvements. And then some people's higher selves say that it'll take a while and it's not instant either. I try to make a habit of asking when we are doing healing for any particular reason with the higher self or in the spirit realm, asking how long until this healing is complete and actually having them give me a timeline. And some higher selves will say, oh, it'll be a few days. Some will say, oh, we started it now, but it's up to her to continue the healing before she can be fully healed. And there's others that are like, oh, right now, as soon as it's done, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you just have to ask their higher
Well,
self. And what were you saying?
no, sorry, I totally interrupted you. Well, because I remember you asked in my first session about it's the shit from that. I'm gonna call it the Swedish life.
Mm.
But it's from that life. That my first healing ceremony was from that life. And I remember you asked, yeah, like what can be done to heal from this? And that's when Chad came through and was telling me like to write a eulogy and to like do, give her a proper, whatever. God, where was I going with that? Oh yeah. And then there's other lives you've asked me that, and it's just shining light on it. Like I see like the elders will just show a flashlight shining it around, and that's all you need is just to shine the light on this. There's
Mhm.
really nothing left to do.
Just by raising awareness about the situation
Oh yeah.
uh, is very powerful according to the higher self. And it is,
It really is. Yeah.
understanding yourself and understanding parts of ourselves, especially parts that we really dislike and really struggle with, and understanding that, we're not just some fucked up, uh, tarnished human or whatever, and that there's like reasons for these things that are deep in your soul. And I don't know, it's not like excusing it or making excuses, but understanding yourself and what makes you you.
Because that reminds me of what Daryl was talking about on the podcast that I keep talking about. I keep forgetting to mention it. It's called Next Level Soul Podcast. It's on YouTube. It's good. Check it out. He has other guests, but he has Daryl Anka on a lot, and it's really good. But anyway, he was talking to him in one of them, and he was just talking about like the current energy that's going on right now. And he's saying that things are a lot of the darkness and a lot of the taboo, or not taboo, but like a lot of the darkness and like the negative energies and whatever is bubbling to the surface, both collectively and individually. And those who are willing to take advantage of this energy will ascend because you're allowing things to come to the surface that are long buried within you,
Mm-hmm.
and to release it. And it's also happening collectively, to release it and to release the shit that doesn't serve us collectively anymore. And some of that is systems and institutions and all that kind of things that need to go away, and need to just die.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. You could chalk it up to some of the astro weather, because I know Saturn in Pisces right now is bringing light to a lot of the illusion and the dark, because Pisces rules like subconscious stuff. So
Mm.
even like stuff that's deep within you, shit like that. But anyway, that's just what it made me think of. But this energy is going on right now, and it's like those who are willing to take advantage of it, those are the ones who will ascend.
Mm.
And so I'm like, all right, let's get on. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hoard the office supplies, but I hoard craft supplies now that I'm an artist, because I think, oh
Yeah.
well, this translates, but it doesn't. Like I even want to do like mixed media collaging stuff with paint on canvas, and I haven't even done that yet. And I've wanted to. I've
And
tried to do it
well,
in my journal. It just doesn't. I don't know how to bring the collaging world and the paint world together. So it's like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I wish I had a crafty brain, but I just don't. My brain's so fucking weird. Even the art doesn't even make sense. It's just,
I was thinking, so I've been watching a lot of those videos where they'll start out just like putting some splatter on, and then they get some random tools and they stamp here and stamp there and put a grid here and a grid there and a swoosh here, and then all of a sudden it turns into like a fucking lion face or some shit,
I know that
that's
shit
like
pisses me
hella
off.
elaborate.
I know that shit
And I
pisses me
mean,
off.
and they're like going and getting like they're going and getting like a fucking like a croc and like tapping it on the thing, and then they like go, I mean, like just the most random garbage shit, they're using for their textures. And I'm like, it's like really fascinating, and I would love to try my hand at that, but it just seems like everything would be a potential texture and you would just end up with so much fucking junk. I don't know.
Well,
It just like
it ruins your stuff unless you clean it completely, first of all. Like everything I use in my art area, it's like it belongs in the art area now. It's an
right.
artist
Yeah.
tool
It's
now.
once it's
But
there, it's yeah.
those kind of paintings piss me off because I try to throw paint on a canvas like that and then try to bring faces out and animals out and this, that. It's like I'm not that talented yet.
Yeah.
Like I need to learn how to do that kind of detail, like the animals, the people. Like I'm itching to take art classes so I could like,
Yeah.
because I feel like I've kind of reached the threshold of what I could do, and I really want to like learn how to actually, paint that kind of stuff. Like
Well,
I
they
could,
have this place called Lavender Rose Paint Nights where you can go and take like paint classes.
trust
I'm
me,
totally
that
kidding.
no, trust me, when I was starting out with painting, I used to go to those paint nights, and that taught me techniques that I didn't know yet. And
Right,
that was
right.
like the foundation. So I've totally done those classes. It was this place in San Diego called Pino's Palette, and
Oh yeah.
I was there all the time. I loved it. It was so cool. And I had so many art pieces. No, I really want to take classes for like learning shadows and like like my stepdad kind of was trying to teach me color theory when I was struggling with my wall. I was having a hard time with that sunset.
Mm.
But I mean, you were there with as witnessing
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with me, whenever I want to learn new techniques, I pretty much just hit YouTube and start watching other people
I know
watch
I do
online
too. Yeah,
classes
I do too.
and then incorporate it or try to test it out. I think basically the reason why, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I actually went to school for radio and video production, and I dropped out because I was getting up at like 6:30, so I had to be to school by 8 a.m. on campus in the computer lab. And we were doing fucking YouTube tutorials. And I was like, okay, I'm
No
paying all
way.
this.
Ew.
Yeah. And I was like, not just one. Like, I mean, we had a couple different times. Basically, after the second or third one, I was like, once I learned that I literally could learn any of this on YouTube and do these classes on YouTube. And I think the reason the teachers were doing that is because that was the most up to date classes, because people on YouTube learn something and then make a video, you know?
Well, that's what they said when
And
I was in college. Like, especially, I learned how to sidechain reverb on fucking YouTube. I wanted to sidechain this reverb and to the fucking kick, and I fucking typed that into YouTube. Sidechain reverb to the kick, and boom, and I
yeah,
followed it step by step, and it sounds dope. And I
my
cannot
entire video.
remember how I did it though. I gotta go back and find that video.
I mean, my entire video production career has been completely self-taught through YouTube,
That's funny.
using Premiere Pro and everything over
See,
years and years and years.
See, I'm too afraid to ask questions because I don't want everybody to think I'm stupid because I'm a girl, you know? And so I would just go on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also, my Anthony was my roommate for a good bulk of it, and so he was really helpful. But yeah, like man, YouTube is where it's at. I mean, he's the one that told me to go to YouTube too. It's funny
Hmm.
that we're talking about that. But like, um,
I used to
yeah,
joke and say I had a PhD from YouTube University.
I know so many people do. Yeah, like Mike even told me, he was like, sent me links for color theory videos, and I watched them, and I learned something. I learned that brown is dark yellow, and if you want to lighten or darken something, like you want to use yellow and white to lighten stuff, and then like if you want to darken something that's a warm color, you use brown, because it's dark yellow. I didn't know any of that. Because I was having a hard time with the fucking fade. I was trying to do a gradient on my wall, and so Mike was trying to teach me how to do that with color theory, and I did. It worked. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that I could start to see stuff for what it really is, or the energy behind what they're doing, and I don't like it, and that's what's deterring me, or if I'm actually judging them,
Right. Yeah, because I mean, it's pretty obvious when people are. I could just see through people's bullshit really quickly.
Me too, yeah.
So
Because it's funny, like I always used to be able to read their energy behind what they were saying anyway, but it's so fucking loud now.
yeah.
It's hard because there's like a couple of people, like this one dude, I met him, he was a bar friend, but like he wants to start healing, but he's afraid to take the first step.
Hmm.
And it's just kind of sad to see him stuck in the revolving door, and it's just like you want to shake him and be like, hey, come on, follow me. I know the way. Like, it's really cool.
Oh yeah.
It's
I have
easy.
friends
It's
that are like
fun.
that too. They're like literally over Facebook complaining about how depressed they are. Then they know that they have a drinking problem, and that them and their partners have drinking problems, and they know it contributes to them feeling miserable. And then they're literally like right back on Facebook posting pictures of mixed drinks, I mean, maybe the seeds are getting planted and they're just not quite ready yet, but
Well, that is true. Like Daryl says, sometimes it's like or Bashar's even said it's like it's not. Sometimes this isn't even the lifetime that it'll affect them. Like a seed that you planted. I'm too high. I'm hacking that one up. I'm gonna stop there. Oh, it's like something about how like a seed that's get planted in one lifetime and one time, and then it, has to you literally as a soul have to go through so many things till you can just be able to understand and accept that information. And if it
Mhm.
takes lifetimes to do so, that's what it was. Okay, so it's like you could plant a seed here, but until that person is ready for that information, they'll never hear it, And so it's like, and sometimes that could take lifetimes.
Right.
But there's epiphanies that you've had that probably came to you from lifetimes ago, which is
Right.
a cool thought.
Well, some of these people actually are like seeking stuff out and wanting the healing, but then when it really comes down to it, then they self-sabotage.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's sessions that I'm not too enthused about going into, but that's how I know that I need to. Like when I don't want to, when I want to make up excuses or just lay around, it's like that's when you need to do it. And I do, and I press on through, and it's great, and it ends up releasing what needs to be released. So it's
how many lives of yours have we gone through now?
okay. Wait, let's start from the beginning. There's the attic. There's Salem. There's the murder life. Then there's Maldek. There's Japan. We went into. Why am I counting? I have them right here. Yeah, let me just open the file. Okay, let's see. There's Attic. We've been in 18 lives, but there's others
Wow.
that we know about, but we haven't gone into.
Right.
But yeah,
That's pretty wild.
We've been into 18 of my lives. I know that is pretty
Not
wild.
many people can say that.
I know, right? That's funny.
Because a lot of people do one and done.
I know
a lot
that's
of people don't
crazy.
understand,
Yeah.
like how powerful, like continuing on the journey can be.
It is like how deep it gets and how deep it goes. Like it's just so fascinating to me because it's funny. It's really funny because I was thinking about it. I was like, so where do I go from here? Like what else is? And it's like, bitch, you had like over 500 lives here. Like just chill. We got plenty to show you. So yeah. Well, I don't know if they're here because some of those were other lives elsewhere. I don't know. Because there was like
Right.
the Arcturan lives and the Palladian lives and the Maldek lives. Because that was
Right.
yeah. I want to go back in the Akashic records now that I don't have those channeling blocks.
Yeah, I
Or
wonder how I would do it if I'm really curious if the other night if I was having a hard time seeing because I was so tired, or if I like legit just am not really going to be seeing things, and then how would I do the Akashic records then?
it's just sensing. You just have to sense.
Yeah, but they're always like flip to this page in the book. Flip to, I don't
Well,
know.
who cares? Who cares? You don't need your vision. Just feel
Right.
just feel what the page says. That's what
Right.
I do. And you know what? Boom, a number comes out, like, or this comes, because sometimes I can't see, but then I switch to what does it feel like? And then everything kind of illuminates like sonar.
We also wanted to let you guys know that if you have any questions about what we talk about, if there's anything that you want to know about the universe, email us at thedeependpodcast2024@gmail.com.
Yeah, totally. We'll do our best to answer your questions and it'll be fun. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our podcast, and following us into the depths of the subconscious and the unknown.
Into the depths of your soul.
Come find me and book a reading on www.mutablemystic.com. Find me on Facebook at Mutable Mystic. You can find me on Instagram at mutable_mystic. Also, if you'd like to check out any of my music, you can find me on SoundCloud /stay, STE_music.
And you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under Quantum Healing with Steph Green, and book your own past life regression session, or you can send me a message on Facebook and we could talk about what you have in mind. And don't forget to like, follow, and share the Deep End Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in today.
Till we can bend your mind next time. Always remember to ground your feet in the dirt and enjoy life with those gratitude glasses on. Catch us on the deep end.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The Deep End.
The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
The deep man.
Deep end.
The Deep End.